With the approach of Valentine's Day, I want to tell you a special story, showing the lengths that lovers will go to keep in touch. In the words of Ambrose Bierce, the telephone is an invention of the devil which abrogates some of the advantages of making a disagreeable person keep his distance. But occasionally, the telephone can offer, quite literally, a lifeline.
27118.
You are about to be connected to Lifeline. Lifeline is a premium rate shared line conversation and information exchange. All calls and conversations are closely monitored. Names are not allowed, home addresses are not allowed, the exchange of personal telephone numbers is not allowed.
Come on.
Any infringement of these simple rules will result in immediate disconnection. Lifeline is for telephone discussion only, and direct contact between subscribers is not allowed. You may accept these conditions by touching the numbers 5 and 9 on your telephone keypad. You are now connected to Lifeline.
Belinda, be there, Belinda.
Does anybody want to hear the worst thing I ever saw?
Yeah, sure, I think.
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Only it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I don't know if it's the kind of thing we ought to be talking about.
Why don't you just tell us, and then we can hear from somebody else?
Yeah, right. I was 14. I was at school, and we were having a biology lesson. The teacher brought out this frog. I'm sure it was alive. He did something to it. I couldn't quite see what it was. But then he just pulled, and the whole thing turned inside out like a glove. Oh, it was horrible. I still get nightmares about it.
Anyone else?
I keep having this dream. But it's rude.
Keep it to yourself, then.
Oh, God, listen to them. Where is she?
I had a dream once. I was walking towards this car. I knew there was a bomb inside, but I couldn't stop myself. When I was about 10 feet away, the bomb went off. The whole world went white, and I could feel this hot wind washing over me. And I knew it was taking my skin away and that I was going to die.
That must have been terrible.
Belinda.
What? Sorry?
I said that must have been terrible.
Would you know, I think it was probably the most beautiful thing I ever saw in my life.
One cappuccino. A cappuccino. Who asked for a frothy coffee?
Down here, look.
Colin, I need 4 all-day breakfasts.
I'll be right on to
I
it.
need them now, Colin.
I'm just seeing to Ryan.
Oh, well, that takes precedence, doesn't it?
For God's sake.
Over here for the frothy coffee, love.
It's coming.
I'm getting you in trouble again. I'm always in trouble, Ryan. Look, here's 10p. Just make that phone call.
Yeah, right. I don't suppose there's any chance of getting something on the slate. I've got no food at all in the flat.
Well, look, Susan goes on a break in half an hour. I'll get you something while she's out of the way.
I'll pay you when I'm fixed.
Yeah, that's what the Minister Milo told me.
Are those breakfasts ready?
Yeah, just coming up. Give us a chance.
Hello. Can I have the advertising department, please? I want a place in there to sell a car.
What's he doing now?
Trying to sell his car.
I didn't know he had a car.
Well, it hasn't moved in 3 years. It's probably set to appear on the next ordnance survey map.
Oh, you've given him the money for that call, haven't you?
Only loose change.
So this is a man who walked 2 miles from home just so that he can scrounge a 10-penny piece. No one's that hard out.
I'd rather think he is.
He's a loser, Colin.
I know, but he's my oldest friend. I've known him since art school.
Oh, he doesn't look like much of an artist.
And I do these days, I suppose. Only a greasy calf's the ultimate artistic statement.
Well, at least you can hold your head up.
Yeah.
You're such a mug, Cole. I bet there's not a stray dog in town that hasn't memorised your address in case of emergency. And if you're gonna feed him, at least make him wait until it's quieter, all right?
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
There'll only be a couple of minutes.
Yeah, just waiting on the chips. What was she saying? Have I got to leave?
No, you're all right.
Colin,
What?
how's the business going?
All right, why?
You haven't got a spare 200 quid you could lend us, have you? That's right, Colin. I can get sick of having cornflakes for 3 meals a day.
I'll tell you something, Ryan. If you need 200 quid for a phone bill, you'd be better off having the phone taken away.
The bill hasn't actually arrived yet. Could be more.
More? Who have you been calling? Everyone in Brisbane?
No. It's a bit more complicated than that. Did you ever hear tell of an outfit called Lifeline?
Isn't that the one where you ring for help if you get pregnant?
No. It's not like that. It's like all different people ring in and talk. To each other, I mean.
Oh, a chat line. Are they still legal?
I don't know. It's something deeper than that. They're never advertised, but the right callers just seem to find their way on. You wouldn't believe it, but they do.
Ryan, those things run on premium rates. They cost a bomb.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder you're so scared of getting the bill.
The only thing I'm scared of is that they'll cut off the phone when I can't pay.
They'll be doing you a favour. I know you may get lonely sometimes, but that's no answer.
So what if they cut me off when Belinda tries to call?
What do you mean?
She calls the old number, sorry, no reply. What's she going to think?
Ryan, what
I know what you're thinking, but I've heard her, Colin. On Lifeline.
You heard somebody like her?
There is nobody like her. They never try to tell me that I don't know her voice. She's out there and she's lonely too, and I know she's trying to get back in touch.
Ryan, Belinda's dead. She's dead.
Well, I didn't expect you to understand.
Well, what's to understand? She's dead. She died. She's not going to be giving you a call.
Come to the flat tonight, I'll prove it to you.
Prove? What's to prove?
Oh, so that's it, is it? You're right and I'm wrong, and never mind the evidence. Come to the flat.
Ryan, where's all the furniture gone?
Sold it.
This is a furnished flat. None of it was yours to sell.
I'll replace it when I can. The landlord won't know.
When you can. Ryan, I found you 3 jobs for the people who come in the cafe. All regulars. They all did me a personal favour, and you didn't hold one of those jobs down for more than 6 weeks. I mean, you were night watcher on a pile of topsoil. How simple can a job be? But they're still looking for it.
Colin, shut up. There's not a thing wrong with me.
Nothing wrong. You have an empty flat. You have no carpet. You have no furniture.
Yes, I do.
Well, you have 1 table for the telephone and 1 chair to sit on.
This is an answering machine.
In case Belinda calls.
It does more than just take messages. It can record anything on the line. That's why I chose it.
How much?
Well, the sofa. Oh, and one of the wardrobes.
Oh, one of the wardrobes.
The junk shop did a straight exchange. It looks ancient, but it does work.
I don't know what to do with you.
I heard her last night.
You're making it worse.
Sit down, Colin. Listen, and then you can judge me.
How long have you been spending on this chat line?
Oh, 3-4 hours a night. I've taped over my entire Led Zeppelin collection.
That's the first sane action you've told me about since I've been here. 4 hours a night.
I know. Sometimes I call and no one answers. You've got to wait until about 2 in the morning before it starts to mean anything.
Why?
Well, that's the time when people start to open up. You don't get so many time wasters then. I was sure that I'd heard her a few times before, but she'd never said much, and I was scared to join in. But, yeah, listen to this.
And I could feel this hot wind washing over me. And I knew it was taking my skin away and that I was going to die.
It must have been terrible.
Did you hear that?
What? Sorry?
I said that must have been terrible.
Would you know, I think it was probably the most beautiful thing I ever saw in my life.
Do you want to hear mine?
Yes.
My dream happens on a cliff. I'm standing on the edge, and I'm looking out to sea, and it's night, and all I can see are these distant lights somewhere out across the water. I keep thinking they're the lights of home, and all I have to do is take 1 step out, and I'll be there. 1 step. All it takes is the nerve to do it.
And do you? That's me again.
I know.
In the dream, do you take the step?
What? I can never remember.
They have these rules. No full names, no trying to set anything up. Here's what they do if you try. I can see the sun coming up. Is anyone else still there?
Only me. I think the others have gone.
I've got a confession to make. I was waiting for this.
So was I.
Belinda, why don't you come back?
Allowed. Home addresses are not allowed. The
You
exchange
see?
of personal
They
telephone
cut you off. They
numbers is
just
allowed.
cut you off.
Any infringement
But it was
of
her.
these simple rules
It was her, wasn't it, Cole?
connection. Lifeline is for telephone discussion only, and direct contact between subscribers is not allowed.
The other person has cleared. 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 The other person has...
Close the window if it's keeping you awake.
It's not the noise.
It's Ryan.
How'd you know?
Oh, don't keep secrets from me, Colin. You're no good at it.
He thinks Belinda's trying to get in touch with him.
Who's Belinda?
Oh, before your time. She died.
Oh, I didn't know about her. I always assumed...
Now he's heard someone on this chat line thing. Oh, I don't know. You can't blame him. She did sound like Belinda. I keep thinking about some of the things this woman said. I mean, I know it's only a coincidence, but if I can't get it out of my mind, what must it be like for him?
What was she like?
She was just this plain girl, but... Oh, I don't know. They were in it so deep. I suppose they were touchy. They were insecure. They were like a couple of 15-year-olds.
What happened to her?
Well, they had a big row and she took a train to the coast. They found her all smashed up at the foot of a cliff.
Oh, God.
Post-mortem said she was pregnant. And her family wouldn't let Ryan anywhere near the funeral.
Well, you can't really blame them.
I know, but I think it's because of that he's never been able to accept that she's really dead. He said that the row was about nothing. Everyone assumes it was about the baby, but he says he didn't even know. Do you want to know what you started me thinking about? I always do whenever I think about the two of them.
What?
Stray dogs. I reckon there's no dog more devoted than a stray from the dog's home, because they know just how lucky they are. Well, that's how Ryan and Belinda were with each other. I don't think he'll ever get over it. I think that's why he'll always be the way he is. If you ever died, and there was a way, would you try to come back to me?
How much would you want me to?
Lifeline is for telephone discussion only, and direct contact between subscribers is not allowed. You may accept these conditions by touching the numbers 5 and 9 on your telephone keypad. You are now connected to Lifeline.
Is there anybody there? I know it's late. No? I know some of you just listen sometimes. I know because I've done it myself, so I'll just carry on for a while, and if there is anyone there who wants to join in, or if you're out there and you don't want it, that's fine as well. It's not easy to talk. It's never easy to talk about things that matter. I don't know why they make us so afraid, but perhaps we just don't like to make fools of ourselves. But you'd think that when it was important, we'd somehow... Yeah, well, it never works out that way, does it? You always realise too late. I learned something too late. I learned that everything you love, you lose it in the end. And the end always comes a lot sooner than you'd think. But now I'm starting to wonder. Are there second chances after all? Or is that just a dream? Does anyone know? Anyone?
Colin!
Yeah?
Customers at the door and it's gone 7. Are you going to open up?
Doing it now, darling. You?
Me?
You're early.
I haven't slept, haven't been to bed. God, you look terrible.
Thanks. I wonder why. Come on, you better come in.
You know it was her, don't you?
It couldn't be, Ryan.
It could. They could have found a body, anybody on a beach, and stuck a name on it and never really known.
Even you don't believe that.
Her brother did the identification. The man's a total and utter plank.
Even a plank wouldn't mistake his own sister.
It was her on the line, though. Wasn't it?
What are you doing here so early, anyway?
This.
The phone bill.
First post. Read it.
Well, they itemise everything these days.
What do you see?
Quarterly rental, test units, VAT.
Yeah, look at the calls.
12 units. Only 12? You said you'd made hundreds of premium rate calls. That's got to be wrong.
That's it, don't you see? I only used the phone for calling Lifeline. I haven't called anyone else in ages. I even placed a newspaper ad from here.
It's a mistake, Ryan. That's all it is.
I don't know. I think it's got some kind of significance.
Well, like what?
I don't know.
They'll catch up with you on the next one. It's not something you're going to get away with.
You're missing the point, Colin.
There is no point, Ryan. Something got stuck in the works and you've got a breathing space. Don't try reading anything into that.
You're scared.
End of conversation.
There's nothing to be scared about, Colin. I'm not.
Locked up?
Yeah. I left a note in the window for the pie man. You know, when I was a kid, one of my friends used to live over a fish and chip shop. Chippy Thompson. That's what everybody called him. His house always smelled of it, and so did he. When I come up here, I can't smell a thing.
Oh, it's probably there. You just don't notice it.
I know. Chippy Thompson didn't either.
What's the point you're trying to make?
There isn't one.
Sit down. Now, either speak out or shut up. I've had a hard day, and I'm not going to waste time trying to fish for what you want me to find.
Well, look at me. It's not exactly the dream I had, is it?
Oh, do you think this is mine?
I'm not trying to start a competition, sir.
Well, I'm sorry, but we've been here before. You get the mopes and you start in on all the things you could have done and should have done. Get that magazine out, Colin. The one the art school sends you every year with all that stuff about where are they now. Most of them are just like you, and a lot of them can't hold their heads up as high. But all you can see are the 4 millionaires. 4 out of how many? One of them's already dying.
And how am I supposed to answer that?
No, it's that bloody Ryan, isn't it? I don't know how or why, but I'm sure it's down to him.
It's not Ryan. It's just me.
Look, I know he's your friend, and I'm very sorry and all that, but I don't want to see him around here again. If you want to meet him, go off somewhere and I won't even ask. But I don't want any more of his misery in my life. I've got enough to cope with as it is.
Misery? Do you know, right now I think he's the happiest man I know.
But I could get through before. Why can't I get through now?
I've been checking with the engineer, caller, and he says the same.
Meaning what exactly?
The number that you've given me isn't one that will connect you to any of our exchanges.
I've dialed it loads of times, but suddenly nothing's happening and I don't know why.
All I can say is that perhaps you've made a mistake in noting it down.
No,
this number
that's...
isn't valid for any line on the system.
Lifeline. It's called Lifeline.
Could you perhaps be thinking of the Samaritan?
No. Look, I've called it every night. I've spent hours on it. I know the number off by heart, and you're trying to tell me it doesn't exist.
I can only suggest you try directory inquiry.
I tried them first. They sent me to you. Look, I've been phoning this number. I've been getting through. It's a premium rate line. You must have some way of keeping track of them.
I could put you onto telephone accounts.
And what for?
It depends on your local exchange, but they should be able to provide you with an itemised breakdown of your bill. That way you may be able to see what number it was that you were actually dialing whenever you were getting connected. Caller?
My bill.
Oh, it isn't like it used to be. These days, if it's on your bill, they can track it down.
On my... Yeah, thanks.
Shall I put you through?
No, not right now. No, thanks.
I must be mad. Off my rocker.
Well, I've always had my doubts about it.
I should be home in bed with Susan instead of tramping the streets in the pouring rain peering into phone boxes.
I didn't ask you to come, Colin. All I asked you for was a lend of your torch. Just shine it round here while I take a look.
Ah, that's stickers. All human life is here. Dusty blonde bombshell. French mistress. Venus in chains. Shaven Haven. I can remember a time when the boldest thing you could ever hope to see was the corsetry section in Rance's fashion catalogue.
You're getting old, Colin.
I'm starting to feel it. Have you found anything?
Shine it down here.
Oh, all right. Why should Lifeline want to advertise in a place like this?
I don't know. Could be because of the law. I've never seen or heard of them anywhere else.
And what were you doing studying all the call girl ads?
Please don't ask me that, Colin.
Oh, sorry.
It's here.
Where?
Look, down here, this orange label stuck to the glass. There.
Lost, low, now call Lifeline.
It is the same number. It's the one I've been dialing. I knew I hadn't made a mistake.
So this is the number where you used to be able to get through, but now you can't?
Yeah.
Exactly when did you stop being able to get connected?
Well, it was just after
Just after you broke the so-called rules and spoke to her by name?
Well, perhaps it's not the number that's the problem. What do the telephone people say? Perhaps it's me. I broke the rules, and so they've frozen me out.
How can they do that? I mean, how would they know?
Well, no idea.
I really think you should give it up, Ryan.
Could you? I mean, if you were me, could you come so far and then give up?
She's still dead, Ryan. Whoever you've been talking to, Belinda's still dead.
I don't care. You ring them for me. Ring them for me now.
Drop this, Ryan. Please. Before it goes too far.
I'm going to find her. I know she wants me to. I'm going to have something that most people want and almost no one ever gets. I'm going to have a second chance.
You are about to be connected to Lifeline.
It's Lifeline.
Lifeline is
through.
a premium
Give me
rate
the phone.
shared
Here.
line conversation and information.
It's a public
exchange.
phone, and I'm not even going to say anything, so
All
they'll never have a
calls
way of
and
knowing it's me.
conversations are closely monitored.
I'm sorry, Ryan.
There's got to be something I can do to get back in. There's got to be something. This is brilliant.
What is?
The van.
I've heard this wreck called many things. Brilliant's never been one of them.
Yeah, next left. There's 2 phone boxes down here.
I can't see anyone turning out in this.
Someone's going to be out there tonight putting the stickers in the boxes. We just have to find out who hires them.
We've been driving around for 2 hours. We've covered just about every public phone in the middle of town. We'd have seen them by now.
Who's that?
It's just someone making a call. Suppose you find this Lifeline outfit. It's probably a few thousand quid's worth of gear in a crummy back room somewhere. A few machines and somebody reading a newspaper and all these voices telling their hard luck stories to each other way off into the night. How does that get you any closer to Belinda?
They've got to help me find her. I'll make them help me.
For all you know, they could be anywhere. Some other town or right down the other end of the country.
Look! That guy there with the shoulder bag. He's going into that phone box.
Well, he's probably going to ring for a taxi.
Stop the van.
I can't stop here.
Stop the van, I'm getting out.
Ryan! What the hell do you think you're doing?
I'll be back as quick as I can.
Ryan, I can't wait here!
Thanks, Colin.
All right, I'm moving out of the way.
You want to get your bloody head examined?
No one ever said a truer word, mate. Ryan, come on.
Colin.
Come on, Ryan, get in, let's go.
No, not yet.
I said get
He
in.
knows. Colin. He knows where they are. He said he'd give me an address for 20 quid.
So?
I haven't got it.
You sold your car.
Nobody rang. Please, Colin, I'll never ask you for anything else after this, I promise. I'm not even going to pretend I can pay you back. I'll just stay out of your life for good. Colin, please, he won't wait.
Some offers are just too good to be refused. This can't be right.
It is. I can feel it.
But we're only half a mile from home.
I know. Isn't it amazing?
Ryan, that's a row of derelict buildings over there. I'd have said you'd been taken for a fool if it wasn't for the fact you did it with my money.
Have a little faith, Colin.
You're not going over there.
You don't have to wait for me.
There's nothing to see. No one's lived in this street for years.
I'm going to find Belinda.
On a demolition site.
The world is full of wonders, Colin. Or will you expect them least?
2 minutes. You'll be back here within 2 minutes.
You've been a good friend to me, Colin. Thanks.
2 minutes!
Cole?
Sorry. I came in as quietly as I could. I didn't mean to wake you up.
I couldn't get to sleep anyway. There were police cars and all sorts going past at about 1 o'clock. It's been like Piccadilly Circus out there.
Somebody got hurt. On the railway line.
Oh.
It was Ryan.
Ryan? Is he badly hurt?
There was somewhere he wanted to go, so I took him there. It was all tied in with Belinda. It's too complicated to explain. The address was that row of old cottages down by the railway. It's just a row of shells with a roof on top. There isn't even any back to them, but he insisted on going in. Well, I waited, but he didn't come back, so I went to look. One of the doors was open, and that was when I realised there was nothing on the other side of the front wall. I was just looking down this embankment full of rubble to the railway lines. Ryan was down there, on the tracks.
What was he doing?
Waiting. I shouted to him, but he didn't hear me. Couldn't hear me because there was a train coming. I couldn't see it because of the darkness under the bridge, but I could hear it. Ryan knew it was coming. He was facing down the track and into the dark. It was the train he was waiting for. He was standing there and he kind of set himself ready. Made his hands into fists and he kind of leaned forward like a boxer or a runner waiting for the starting gun. I tried to move. It was a waste of time. Train lights were already coming round the bend. He was standing there between the tracks, and I could see the train under the bridge, and then the driver saw him and put on the brakes, but it was too late to make any difference. I could see the wind blowing his hair back as the train came on. He closed his eyes. It was as if he was feeling... I don't know. Bliss.
What happened?
He was there, he was gone. Like a bursting balloon. The train was going at full speed. I called the police. They brought searchlights and stuff. I couldn't stay to watch.
Oh, Colin.
I think I'd just like to stay here for a while. Is that all right?
No, come upstairs.
Honestly, it's what I want.
You mustn't. You've had a terrible shock, Colin. Sitting here with the lights out isn't right.
5 minutes. Then I'll come up, I promise. There's someone I want to call.
These simple rules will result in immediate disconnection. Lifeline is for telephone discussion only, and direct contact between subscribers is not allowed. You may accept these conditions by touching the numbers 5 and 9 on your telephone keypad.
5, 9.
You are now connected to Lifeline.
Hello?
Here's someone who's just joined us. No names, remember. We're talking about dreams again. Do you have some particular dream that you'd like to tell us about?
I don't know. Not right now. I think I'd rather hear from someone else.
Anyone, then?
Does anybody ever have a dream about dying?
Everybody here dreams about dying.
That's right. I had one of those dreams once.
What? When was this?
Don't know. It's hard to be sure. It's hard to be certain of anything.
I think I'd like to hear it.
I was standing on a railway line, and a train was coming towards me. I just had to stand there. As its lights got bigger and bigger, I could hear the brakes, but they made no difference. It came up so fast that it filled the world from one side to the other.
That must have been terrible.
It was the most beautiful thing I ever saw in my life.
Where are you, Ryan?
Names are not allowed. Home addresses are not allowed. The exchange of personal
Ryan!
telephone numbers is not allowed. Any infringement of these simple
Ryan!
rules will result in immediate disconnection. Lifeline is for telephone discussion only, and direct contact between subscribers is not allowed.
The other person has cleared. The other person has cleared. The other person has cleared. The other person has cleared.
And in that moment, have you ever failed to believe with a passionate certainty that there would be an answer? Perhaps you're looking at the phone right now. Perhaps you're considering, but let me give you a warning. To make the call is to break the spell. We can't quite believe in death. That's our eternal problem. But oh, how we long to believe the dead can communicate. Nicholas Murchie played Ryan, Jonathan Taffler, Colin, Moya Leslie, Susan, Federae Holmes, Belinda, Anne Windsor, the lifeline operator, Matthew Morgan, the telephone engineer, Melinda Walker, Kate Pinchy, and Julian Rind-Tutt, the voices. Lifeline was written by Stephen Gallagher and directed by Martin Jenkins. This is Edward de Souza, the Man in Black, signing off until the next time we meet for another series of Fear on 4. Au revoir.